Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 2 of the Vainglory Premier League Summer Open. We're here in the wonderful city of Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Aria Resort and Casinos Poker Go studio. We're ready to get on into our second day of games here in our second week. We're in the round of 16 and we're ready to see more of those big ticket matches. My name is Munchables. I'm going to be joined once again by Tasty Bacon as we head into day number 2.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to the games we have today. Some of the teams I've been really waiting to see, especially one of these play-in teams that was a little dominant in their matchup, finally going to get to go against one of the bigger teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot wait to see the matches today. Let's take a look at those matches that are going to be coming your way. Brought to you by Razorphone, of course. We're going to be starting things off in Europe. We already have a default victory in Europe. Rising Lotus are going to be able to take their game as a little godfather, unable to show for their matchup here today, and it's single elimination, so they are out of the tournament. Divine Vendetta versus Historic Esports will be our first game here in Europe. Then later on, at 12 o'clock, we'll jump into our North American games with Hammers Esports up against Lemon Squeezy, and then Team Ferox going up against the Minigunners. Now, off the back of their victory, we had a little chat with PT Lam from Rising Lotus in our Razor Phone-In.
Hey guys, it's PT Lam. I am from Rising Lotus, and we are one of the best teams in EU. And we have a big chance to be in top 3 teams. So please support us and give us your energy, and we will be the best.
And as you can see, Rising Lotus with that win is going to be moving on to the quarterfinals, joining Clash and Raw Fury as the other teams already qualified for the top 8. But now that they're in the top 8 out of the round of 16, this is where you start to get a little worried if you're a Rising Lotus fan, because they have a history of being middle of the pack. I mean, you look at their preseason performance, they finished with a 5-5 record, had 47% of the dragons in their games that they captured, and as a team, they had a 56% kill participation. Just about everything with this team was split right down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that when they were against the weaker teams, they looked dominant. They looked fantastic during the preseason. But once you got them against those bigger names, once you got them against the likes of Clash or Queso, they just fell apart. There wasn't that cohesion in the same way, and it felt like they were struggling to level up their gameplay. But there have been a few roster changes coming into the main season, so maybe things have changed.
Yeah, not too many members from the preseason Rising Lotus are still in Rising Lotus. A lot of them have branched down. Rising Lotus kind of rebuilt themselves and are hoping that they're going to be able to have a better than middle of the road finish this time around. And well, time will tell. They've already gotten to the halfway point. Let's see if they can continue it on in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they're going to do in their quarterfinal matchup. But we have to find out who their opponent will be first. Divine Vendetta versus Historic Esports is going to be your Play Vig head-to-head. And we can take a look at how Historic have been doing so far, because they were in our play-in round. We can take a look at our Rockstar Rewind.
Yeah, they were absolutely dominant in their play-in round, especially with the help of Siyun, playing those CP mages, the Samuel and the Reza. He was kind of the standout star, but it was a team effort. They constantly were rotating as a full squad, diving underneath enemy turrets, looking for kills. As you're gonna see right here, they go deep underneath these middle turrets and are still just finding kills and escaping without giving their opponents any sort of breathing room.
Yeah, and it's the confidence and teamwork that you see from these guys, and that's why they're going to be one of my new kids on the block for this tournament in general. We've not really seen them around before. Now they're coming in and showing strong stuff for the first game. I'm excited to see them against Divine Vendetta. But we've also got Fern Skullblacker here, another one of my teams to watch, because their matchup last weekend was an incredibly intense one. They managed to eke it out in the end. And I'm curious what that means for them moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the final team that was on that new kids on the block was Team GG. And for them, it's almost a little bit of a different story. For Team GG, we want to see them step up from what we saw in the play-ins. Yes, they made it through the play-in round, but if they're going to continue any further in this tournament, they need to improve their decision-making drastically. coming into the round of 16.
Yeah, honestly, I think with all of the play-ins teams that we saw last weekend, the big question is how much of a measuring stick was that versus our top 16 teams? Like, how big of a difference are these games going to be? And historic is one of the biggest question marks for that, just because, you know, they absolutely dominated in their game. But was that a matter of how good they are or that they had a weaker opponent? We're going to find that out today as they go up against Divine Vendetta. And honestly, it's a difficult question to answer just going off of watching 2 games alone. But I'm excited to be able to break that down a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of the matchups that I was absolutely looking forward to. But one of the things that we have to talk about with Divine Vendetta and Historic is the picks. I mean, we mentioned Samuel and Reza. Reza is one of our top bans thus far in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Siyun doing serious work with Reza. Honestly, every time any of those 4 gets through, they dominate the game. Aside from Anchor, we've still yet seen much out of Anchor. And she slipped through a few drafts yesterday without being picked or banned at all. But then, obviously, the first picks as well. Fortress, despite being nerfed slightly, still an incredibly solid first pick.
Yeah, and the Fortress and Arden being first picks it kind of leads to these teams going for safer drafts in a sense. And they're not really being super aggressive. They're not grabbing their carry right off the bat because they don't want it to get countered really early in the draft. So they like to kind of see, okay, are they going to be building something that is going to be able to deal with, you know, a Celeste? And if not, then we pick up the second rotation.
And I want to mention as well, we saw Malene and Adagio as well as top picks. Statistically, they were in the 4 top picks. But there were basically just Fortress and Arden. Aside from those bans, just Fortress and Arden. So there was like 1 or 2 Adagio picks that statistically pushed them up the board, but realistically, we're just seeing Fortress, Arden, and then obviously the 4 permabans. Here we go. We are into the draft though. Reza going to be banned away to start this one off. Fortress taken off the board, and Anchor. So pretty standard stuff so far. We've got Divine Vendetta on our A side.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do eventually start to see the draft kind of change and shift a little bit more towards banning away all of these CP mages that players like to play. But for now,